have for yourself. We all need self-esteem to be resilient in life, and you either get it from your childhood or you get it from reparenting yourself, or you can get it from a very skilled psychotherapist. But self-confidence is totally different. Self-confidence is kind of related to self-esteem in one way. Self-confidence is knowing that you can do something. So we all have thousands of points of self-confidence that are either high or low. So you may have high self-confidence in your ability to find a lover or make friends or technology. You may have low self-confidence in driving a car or sports or many thousands of things, even fashion, even putting together clothes, in your appearance. So the interesting thing about self-confidence is when you have self-confidence about something, you believe that you can do it, and you believe that you can do it well. So the more you feel good about it, of course, the more you do it and the better you get. But the lower your self-confidence is, the less you want to do something, because you're saying things to yourself like, oh, I'm not very good at that, I can't really do it, I'm not really sure, I don't know that I can learn it. So self-confidence is a self-reinforcing thing. And if you pick an area of self-confidence that is low for you, so it could be, let's say, technology or sports, and you start on a program of actually doing that thing. So you're going to go out 4 times a week and you're going to engage in a sport, or you're going to sit down with your computer and start learning it. If you do that and you give yourself some positive self-talk like, I can do this, I can master it, I'm a smart person, you will find that your self-confidence in that area will dramatically increase within 4 weeks. But there are many things. So if you think about the self-confidence that you have and you go through kind of an inventory. So let's go through that inventory right now. Okay, self-confidence about love, finding a partner, self-confidence about having a relationship, self-confidence about sex, self-confidence about talking in public, self-confidence about technology, about sports, about your appearance, about your ability to get in shape, about your ability to be healthy. So self-confidence is another thing that changes constantly in life, and it builds from your childhood. So let's say that growing up, you learned, or you thought, or you believed, because someone told you, or from your own experience, that you're not good at math. So what happens? You start to avoid math. And then what happens? It turns out you're not very good at math because you don't do math. But if you believe early on that you are good at math, whether you are or you aren't, doesn't really matter, you keep doing it, and then you get good at it, whether you were good to begin with or not. So this is an important thing about self-confidence. Now, what do we see in people with high self-confidence? We see people that tend to go out and get what it is they want. So, and this can affect your life in so many ways. So let's say you have someone with low self-confidence with dating. What are they likely to do? They're not going to go out and look for that girl or that guy. They're going to stay home and just kind of see if somebody comes along. Well, of course, they're not going to end up in the positive relationship that they desire because they haven't gone out and put the time in and met 100 people and, gone out on that first date with 100 people, and because they lack self-confidence. Same thing with a job. People with low self-confidence will not actively look for a job. Maybe they want a job, maybe they need a job, but instead of going out and applying to 100 places and sending out resumes and figuring out what I want to do and talking to other people, they simply stay home and wait for something to come along. Well, what kind of job are you going to get? Not a very good one. Or they might just randomly drive by somewhere and put in one application. So this is a very important thing, this self-confidence. And what do we see with people with high self-esteem and high self-confidence? This is kind of an interesting combination because these people tend to be successful, but not terribly successful, not hugely successful, because they already love themselves. So they're not looking to fill themselves up from the outside world with self-esteem, because they already have the self-esteem. So they already have that unconditional love for themselves. So they tend to be relatively successful in their career, but not massively successful. Now, what do you get when you get someone with high self-confidence and low self-esteem? You tend to get huge success. And that is because not only are these people self-confident, but they also don't really love themselves, and so they're out there looking for that validation in the outside world. And it's never enough because, as we learned in the previous video, that's not really the way to raise your self-esteem. So what happens is each success makes them feel better temporarily, but it does not last. And because it doesn't last, they're driven to an even greater success or another success. So these are the people that tend to really rise in whatever profession they, are in. Now, what happens when you see someone with high self-esteem and low self-confidence? This is another interesting group because what they tend to do is they love themselves. They feel pretty good, but they don't do anything. So these people can be very frustrating to the people around them because they will just stay home and not do anything, but they feel good. And everyone around them is like, well, why don't you go get that medical degree? Or why don't you go out and get that girlfriend? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm good. So these are people with high self-esteem and low self-confidence. This is an easier problem to correct than other problems because since they do have high self-esteem, if you can actually get them to go out and start doing things, it will become a self-reinforcing activity. Now, what happens if you have people with low self-esteem and low self-confidence? These people are not lazy, although society labels them as lazy. They're not lazy. They simply don't feel good about themselves, and they don't feel good about going out and trying to do things. So they tend to sort of surf the internet all day, watch TV all day. And what's the answer to this problem? The answer to this problem is that first, number one, their self-esteem has to come up. And then their self-confidence. So as you can see, this is sort of a longer road to travel for these people. So if you think about yourself, you think about, okay, do I have the unconditional love for myself? And if I don't, the first thing to do is to start reparenting myself, soothing myself, building myself up, or finding a good therapist. That's the first thing to do. So if you have high self-esteem, okay, you're good on that. But what if you have low self-confidence? If you have low self-confidence, you are going to be using that positive self-talk, and you're going to be going out and doing some things that you have low self-confidence about. Now, these can be big things or little things, but you have to think about what is important to me. Like, let's say your self-confidence about cooking is very poor. So you don't really believe that you can cook anything that tastes wonderful. Okay, well, ask yourself, is cooking an important skill for me? If it is important, then go ahead and start cooking and start, the positive self-talk, and do it a few times a week, and your self-confidence will skyrocket. But let's say cooking's not that important. But let's say my job, I don't have good self-confidence in my job, and that is important. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to start building yourself up. You're going to start taking some risks. And even if you fail, and this is so important with building self-confidence, even if you fail, you're going to continue to build yourself up. You're going to say, okay, I failed this time, but I'm not going to fail next time. So self-confidence is, that self-confidence building exercise is so important, because as you build self-confidence in anything, you're going to fail. And that's okay. That's part of the process. So you have to get really comfortable. Is what do we find? We find that people who are high in self-confidence in some area are also very tolerant of their own failure. So let's say I'm not confident with tennis, but I decide that for some reason tennis is an important thing for me. Okay, so I'm going to go out a few times a week. I'm going to play tennis. I'm going to lose the game. I'm going to fail. But I'm going to continue doing it, and I'm going to say, that's okay. I'm going to get it right next time. And when I succeed, I'm going to really congratulate myself. So there are everything in life, whether it's reading, or whether it's going to a party, or whether it's getting dressed, whether it's cleaning your house, whether it's finding a partner, whether it's staying married. Every single thing in life has a wrap of self-confidence around it, whether it's big or whether it's small. So do that inventory right now, and take those areas where your self-confidence is low, but it's important to you to strengthen it. Take those areas and start to do it, and start that positive self-talk. So this program is brought to you, as I said, by AMAZ Minerals. And this is our series of feeling good, feeling beautiful, inside and out. We make the best skin cream and the best body oil on the planet. But no matter how great your skin cream is, no matter how great your skin is, if you don't feel good inside, does it matter? Not really. So, the whole idea of it is that you want to feel great, from the emotional aspects to the nutritional aspects to the actual your actual self. Okay, so have a great day.